Hi and welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you my team selection for GW25 of Fantasy Premier League, and also I will be discussing my plans for the future weeks, so let's just jump straight into it. Okay guys, so as I said before, in today's video I'm going to show you my team selection for GW25 of Fantasy Premier League. Now in the first part I want to discuss real short about how my GW24 went, but in the next one, if you want to jump to that part, it's perfectly fine. We're going to discuss about my team selection for gaming 25. We have a lot of topics to cover, right? The double gaming for Arsenal, it is known at the moment, and there are a lot of topics to discuss, so feel free to jump to that part. But real short, it was a really good gaming for me, as you can see from the screen, so I think that it's worth mentioning a little bit about it. 77 points all out for me. Now let me just show you my whole team. I got a big, huge, strong green arrow, however you want to call it, but this was my actual team for gaming 24. Now, overall, really happy with how it went. Obviously, double Arsenal defense, really happy to get a clean sheet, 6 and 8 points for Gabriel. Alderete against Burnley, really happy to have him, obviously, 6 points. Now, what's real fun is that Mukiele, back, I don't know in which game week I bought Alderete instead of buying Mukiele. They were, I think, the same price back then, and I ended up on Alderete because, again, he was decent for defense contributions. Nobody could have predicted what was going to happen with Mukiele, but Mukiele is killing me every gaming because he's just somehow getting an assist every gaming. He's getting really good defensive contributions. So yeah, I feel really bad going with Alderete over Mukiele, but I'm going to take the clean sheet this game week, and overall the fixtures for Sunderland in the future are pretty horrible, so I don't think that I'm going to play any Sunderland defender real soon. Virgil van Dijk, really happy that I didn't sell him last game week. Now again, my preferred option for last game week was Chalobah, which obviously they conceded 2 goals against West Ham, Chelsea. So again, I still think that Chalobah is better than Virgil van Dijk for the next 3. But again, my only transfer this week was actually Soboslai, selling Soboslai to Declan Rice, and I regret it a little bit because now in hindsight, obviously the best move for my team would have been to just roll all the transfers and just keep Soboslai, because I think that he got 6 or 7 points, something that he played as a right back, but he got defensive contributions. So yeah, a little bit hindsight, Rice obviously just got 3 points. So again, Rice is just never going to be a player I'm going to be excited to play, but it was a decent decision, I would say, because Arsenal are going to double in gaming 26. I have him ready for that double. I have my triple Arsenal. So again, overall for the future, I think that it was a decent transfer, but after that I'm just not sure how many games I'm going to play Rice in my team. So yeah, the best outcome would have been to just keep Soboslai, but I'm happy that I didn't bought. Also, the other players I wanted to buy were Brian Mbeumo, who also blanked, Chalobah for Van Dijk, who also blanked. So overall, really happy that I rolled my free transfer. So now I have 2 free transfers for gaming 25, and we're going to see what I'm going to do with them, obviously. But yeah, overall, captaining Bruno Fernandes was a really great decision. Really happy that it paid off. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit scared after Haaland got an assist just inside 10 minutes in that game for Manchester City. But again, Bruno Fernandes in that number 10 role is just a better player. I mean, a better asset in FPL, I wanted to say. 2 assists, some bonus points. He didn't even got defensive contributions, ended up on 10. Really happy with him. Rogers, a little bit frustrating with that pick because I don't know, he blanked some gamings, and now I need to keep Rogers. There's no way I'm going to sell him. The fixtures are really good for Aston Villa, but I wasn't that impressed with Aston Villa, with Rogers in particular in that fixture. Enzo Fernandez continuing to keep scoring goals, let's say, without creating a lot of chances, without creating a lot of XG. But he's just a really good pick, as I said before. So I'm just going to keep him. Rice, as I said, a little bit frustrated to buy him. I mean, again, Rice is still going to be a decent pick, but you need to be patient enough to give him the time, because there are going to be weeks when he's going to score 2 points, 3 points, and there are going to be weeks when he's going to get 5, 7, 10, even the double-digit holes. We know that he's capable, and the man of the moment, Hugo Ekitike. Yeah, Liverpool are back, baby. So again, really happy that I kept Ekitike. I wasn't I was sure I was going to keep Ekitike, honestly, because obviously the only way for me to sell Ekitike was if I wanted to buy someone like Cole Palmer. And at the end of the day, in the deadline stream, I decided to just not buy Cole Palmer after all the uncertainties around him. And Ekitike, again, he blanked a lot of games in the recent game mix, but now he just showed us that he's a really good footballer. And I think that he's a great pick moving forward. So at the moment, probably I'm just going to keep him. Thiago, another frustrating pick, but again, I knew before that I wanted to sell him 4 or 5 game weeks ago. Other problems cropped up, so I decided to keep him. But I knew all along that probably he's just going to get a lot of blanks, because the features are pretty rubbish for Brentford. But now that I kept Thiago that long, yeah, he's just going to be in my team probably. So yeah, Anderson, another player who I thought about playing him instead of Thiago, but I ended up on my deadline stream to play the penalty taker in Igor Thiago. But again, Anderson, he's an angel and and a demon, if you want to call it like that, because in some gamings I'm playing him, really happy about him, but when you have Elliot Anderson on the bench, it's just a strange feeling, because you know that he's going to get minimum 4 points or 3 points or 5 points, something like that, and you just have a little bit of pressure, because again, you know that the chance of Thiago to get 2 points is real, obviously, in the tougher fixture. So yeah, it was a 50-50. After all, I bench Anderson. I still think that I would do that thing all over again. Probably that's what I'm going to do in gaming 25 also. So yeah, this was my gaming. Please let me know how gaming 24 went for you. My rank at the moment, 151k. I think that this is the best rank I had all season, which sounds a little bit crazy for my standards. I would say this is not the place I want to be, but we're getting closer in to that top 100k. So hopefully we can do it this season. But now let's see how my team is looking for gaming 25. All right, guys, now it's time to move to the next section, and here I'm going to show you my team selection for gaming 25. Now, keep in mind that I have 2 free transfers and 0.1 winners in the bank, so not a lot of wiggle room, let's say, not a lot of money to spend on transfers, but this is how my team is currently lining up. Now, I want to say some things before doing that, because this week I wasn't able to upload more videos. And again, if you missed it somehow, yesterday Arsenal beat Chelsea, so they are through to the final of the Carabao Cup. Now, what does that mean in FPL? In case you missed it, Arsenal are guaranteed to have a double gaming, as you can see here on the Fantasy Football Hub. In gaming 26, Arsenal are going to have a double gaming, and that's 100% guaranteed against Brentford away and against Wolverhampton away. Now, also, what does that mean? Arsenal are going to blank in gaming 31. There is another game to be played in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, Manchester City Newcastle. Manchester City are likely to go through, I would say, to the final, but they are not going to double in gaming 30 in gaming 26, because Crystal Palace is the team who is going to play Man City in gaming 31, and they can't they have a game in that midweek. So Man City are not going to double in gaming 26. Arsenal are going to be the only team to double, and that's a little bit of a shame, because if Chelsea were to go in the final of the Carabao Cup, then it would have been a little bit more interested in terms of FPL, because with Arsenal, a lot of people, everybody pretty much has 2 or 3 Arsenal players. So yeah, it would have been a little bit more interested, but this is the outcome. Now, again, the best trio for Arsenal from my point of view is Timber, Gabriel, and Declan Rice. Also, now Bukayo Saka is injured, so that's another frustrating thing, because now everybody is just going to buy Rice. Now, Declan Rice was already a pretty own player. I bought him myself now, but now with the Saka injury, everybody, if you want an Arsenal attacker, probably Declan Rice is the one to go for you. The safest one. So yeah, a little bit boring, the state of the FPL right now, but yeah, this is my team for gaming 25. I think that we covered everything. Now, also, Crystal Palace, Man City, these teams are going to blank in gaming 31. Arsenal also are going to blank in gaming 31. Wolverhampton also are going to have a double. So yeah, I need to correct a little bit myself. I said that Arsenal are the only team to double. Wolverhampton are also going to double, but one of their fixture is going to be against Arsenal. So that's not that amazing. And they are also going to blank in gaming 31. So depending on your strategy, just be prepared for gaming 31. if you're on that strategy to dead end your team in gaming 31, at some point you need to get rid of some Arsenal players, some um, Wolverhampton players, Manchester City players, Crystal Palace players, because they are going to blank in gaming 31, and we're going to discuss more about that. But let's discuss a little bit about my actual team, right? Raya Gabriel, really happy. Now, I'm not going to wildcard anytime soon. My strategy probably is going to be to wildcard in gaming 32, bench boost gaming 33, free it in another blank or double gaming, probably triple captain in gaming 26. Because the thing is, uh, you know that this double is going to be here in gaming 26, and we just don't know. You can't have the guarantee that there's going to be another double gaming. So if you want to use your triple captain, this is a good opportunity to do it in gaming 26, and probably at the moment I'm leaning towards using it, but we're also going to discuss about that. So I'm really happy with my team. Raya, Gabriel, Rice, this trio perfectly fine for the next two fixtures. After that, the fixtures for Arsenal are actually not that great, but obviously it's not a rush to sell players like Gabriel, Raya, Rice, because they are decent. Now, again, my preference would be to have Timber instead of Raya. Don't get me wrong, I think that he's a much better pick for the double for gaming 25, but I'm not going to use two free transfers just to sell Raya and to buy Timber. So I'm not going to do that. I think that Raya is perfectly fine. My defense this week, as I said before, is going to be pretty horrible, and I need to accept that, because probably, again, the most probable scenario for me, I'm just going to roll again in gaming 25, because I just don't think that there are a lot of good players to buy for me, and I think that again, we have the information now. I don't need to wait anymore, but I think that my players, especially Lacroix and Van Dijk, who don't have amazing fixtures in gaming 25, are having decent fixtures long term. So I just don't think that it's worth transferring them out. So for an example, I don't like playing Lacroix and Virgil van Dijk this game. Would have I preferred to have someone like Anderson, I don't know, someone like Chalobah from Chelsea, of course. But selling Van Dijk to Chalobah for just three fixtures and then buying Van Dijk back, or just selling Chalobah, because I think that the fixtures for Chelsea are not that great after game week 28 or 29, something like that. I just don't think that's the best usage of two free transfers. So at the end of the day, probably I'm going to play Lacroix and Virgil van Dijk. Now, I'm not ruling out selling one of them to upgrade my defense this gaming, but I just don't think that's going to be what I'm going to do. So at the moment, Dorgu is going to be on my bench. Alderete against Arsenal away is going to be on my bench. If I had the money to go from Dorgu to Anderson from Fulham, I would do it. But I have just 0.1 minutes in the bank, as you can see. So I don't want to sell Van Dijk to Chalobah and Dorgu. Just to sell Dorgu to a 4.3 million player, I just don't think that's worth it. Hill is an interesting one, because I think that he's going to get the minutes. But I don't know, selling Dorgu to Hill, who's going to play against Aston Villa at home, just to bench Van Dijk, who's going to play against City at home. Is that such a huge upgrade and such an exciting transfer? Not for me. Now I could go for Rodon, who's playing against Nottingham Forest at home, but I'm just not sure if it's worth it. So that's only the thing. I could just go for Esteve, who's going to play against West Ham at home. But again, I'm just not sure if I want to sell Virgil van Dijk, because the fixtures after 25 are pretty great. Sunderland away, Nottingham Forest away, West Ham, Wolverhampton, Spurs, and Brighton in gaming 31. So all these fixtures are pretty decent. I know that a lot of people were frustrating with Virgil van Dijk. Now he scored, he got 4 points. I think that Liverpool are fully capable of, I don't know. I don't want to say that the chances are good they're going to keep a clean sheet against Man City, but they can do that. They kept a clean sheet against Arsenal. City are not in the best moment whatsoever at the moment. Now I can see Manchester City scoring. So yeah, I could sell Dorgu. But if I had the money to go for Anderson, to go for Senesi, maybe I would do it. But and I have two free transfers, so to make another one, just to do that, let me just show you. So let's say Dorgu to Anderson, and I need to free up 0.3 millions. Now, yeah, just to sell, I don't know, someone like Anderson to someone like Dewsbury Hall, just to be able to bench Virgil van Dijk and play Anderson, is that going to be worth it? I don't know, maybe, but yeah, I'm just not sure. But let's finish with the actual team, and then we can discuss the my transfer plans. So my midfield, as I said before, I don't want to sell any of them. Bruno Fernandes, Rice, Enzo Fernandez, and Morgan Rogers. Now I know that Rogers is really frustrating, and I get it. And a lot of people sold him this week. He even dropped in price, but the fixtures are just getting better for them. I just think that he's a good option, and I just think that I'm forced to keep him now. I don't want to say that I'm forced to keep him, because you're not forced to keep any player, but I want to give myself the chance to keep him for these fixtures: Bournemouth away, Brighton, Leeds, Wolves, Chelsea, Man United, and also he has West Ham at home in Game Week 31. And I'm really interested to have a good team in Game Week 31, considering that that's when the blank Game Week is going to be. So that's why I want to keep my Aston Villa players. Enzo, I'm just going to keep him for the next three. Then probably I'm going to sell him in Gaming 28. Rice, again, I'm going to keep him for Gaming 26, definitely for the double gaming. Then actually, probably I'm just going to look to get rid of him if I have the possibility. Bruno Fernandes, just going to keep him probably until Gaming 31. And then I'm going to wildcard. So yeah, with my midfield, I'm pretty happy. Anderson, as you can see, at the moment he's on my bench again, and he has a good fixture against Leeds. But again, I just can't play Elliot Anderson instead of Rogers. I know that he's probably going to get me 4 points at the minimum, and with Rogers, I have no guarantees that's going to happen, because he's not a defensive contribution midfielder. But again, he has that chance to get even more points, Morgan Rogers. So yeah, I'm just going to play all of these midfielders ahead of Anderson. If we move to my attack, it's again not great. Haaland against Liverpool, Ekitike against Man City, Thiago against Newcastle away. It stings. I know it's a little bit rubbish, but honestly, am I going to play Elliot Anderson instead of Thiago, who's playing against Newcastle, who weren't especially great in the recent weeks? Who's also on penalties. We have the same discussion as last game week. Now, last game week, Anderson outscored Thiago, but it could have easily be the other way. It just needs a penalty for Igor Thiago to outscore Anderson, and then we're looking at different situation. With Hugo Ekitike, actually, I I wanted to keep him in Gaming 24 to leave myself the option open to buy Mbeumo actually in Gaming 25, but now I just don't think that I want to sell Ekitike. I think that again, I think that probably Brian Mbeumo is slightly a better pick than Ekitike, but I just don't think that's such a big difference between them. And Man City at home, I just don't think that's such a terrible fixture. Maybe some people are thinking, yeah, Liverpool are not going to do anything against Man City, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. I can easily see Liverpool scoring. I can easily see Ekitike starting and playing good minutes in this fixture. So yeah, I'm just going to keep him. The fixtures are great. As I said before, Liverpool are looking like they are turning the point a little bit. They are getting better finally. So yeah, they have good players. Someone like Florian Wirtz obviously is one on my radar. Finally, he's delivering. And Haaland against Liverpool away, I'm going to captain Bruno Fernandes. I captain Bruno Fernandes last game week. This game week is even more easier. Liverpool away again. We saw Liverpool struggling defensive wise this season, but I just don't think that if you're not going to go against Erling Haaland in a fixture like this when City are playing against Liverpool at Anfield, then yeah, you're just going to captain Haaland every gaming. So yeah, other captaincy options, maybe Enzo, maybe Gabriel, but I'm just going to captain Bruno Fernandes and be done with it. So again, I could play Elliot Anderson instead of Thiago, instead of Rogers, but probably at the moment this is how I'm going to play if I'm not going to make any other transfers. Now let's talk a little bit about my transfer plans for the future, because I have two free transfers. My plan was to use some of them in Gaming 25, but right now if I'm going to go and not use a transfer this week, then I'm going to be able to save some free transfers for the future, and I'm going to be more flexible. If I want to buy players like Mbeumo, if I want to buy someone like Wirtz, if I want to buy even someone like Mohamed Salah, I want to have some free transfers available. Someone like Dorgu needs to be sold at some point, because he's not going to. I mean, maybe he's going to be back available for Bournemouth away in Gaming 31, but at the moment he's just a sell. So what can I do is to sell Virgil van Dijk. But if you look at other defenders, Let's say I want to sell Virgil van Dijk, 6 millions. I have already three players from Arsenal. Munoz is a defender. Obviously, I would love to have him, but the thing is, I have also Lacroix and Crystal Palace, as I said before, are going to blank in Gaming 31. Now, don't get me wrong. Between Gaming 25 and Gaming 31, Palace are going to play against Burnley, Wolverhampton, and Leeds, which are three amazing fixtures, all of them at home. So a double up could work out, but I just don't want to stack up too many, to have too many players who are going to blank in Gaming 31. So I'm not sure if I want to go for Munoz, but I think that is a great option. Anyway, Senesi is another one, but as I said before, Senesi against Aston Villa at home is such a huge upgrade compared to Van Dijk against Man City at home. I'm just not sure is that such a huge upgrade, forcing me to make a transfer. Gay, I'm not going to go there. Other than that, Chaloba, I like him, but as I said before, just to sell Saloba now and sell him again in gaming 28, 29, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do that. Chow, good fixture this week, but then I don't really want to have a Newcastle player. Maguire, Richards against Brighton away. So again, all these defenders are good. Tarkovsky against Fulham, but are they miles better than Virgil van Dijk? I'm just not sure. Now, again, guys, you need to consider also the future when you're making a transfer because yes, Virgil van Dijk is not such a great FPL option in Gaming 25 against Man City, but after that, the fixtures are pretty decent. Liverpool are getting better. So Anderson would be a player I will look to buy probably, if not this game week, probably soon because Fulham have some decent fixtures. That's the only thing. I don't think that they were amazing defensive wise this season, but Anderson is good for DEFCON and he plays Burnley in Gaming 31, so I'm really interested in that fixture. So probably I'm going to buy Anderson sooner rather than later, but I'm just not sure if I want to do it this week. And I'm just not sure if I want to do it for Virgil van Dijk. Now, I could just buy Anderson this week and buy Virgil van Dijk back at some point in the future. That's one thing. But yeah, I need to think a little bit more about that. Now, this is my team selection. I'm just not sure if I'm going to make a transfer or not. Talking about midfielders, if I want to buy in Belmo, I just can't. Just if I'm going to sell Ekitike, and at the moment I'm just not thinking about selling Ekitike. So yeah, if I'm going to make a transfer this game, it probably is going to be to sell Van Dijk or Lacroix. But again, Lacroix with Burnley at home, Wolverhampton at home, real soon. I just don't think that I'm going to sell Lacroix. For what's worth, probably I'm going to sell Lacroix in Gaming 28, something like that. But I'm not going to sell him before Burnley, before Wolves, because I still think that Crystal Palace are a good team. So if I'm going to roll, let's say in Gaming 26, I'm going to have 3 free transfer, and this is going to be my team. Here, probably I'm going to bench Igor Thiago. Against Arsenal, I'm pretty sure I'm going to bench Igor Thiago and I'm going to play Rogers, and this is going to be my team. Gabriel, Rice, and Raya with a double game week, amazing. Lacroix against Burnley, Van Dijk against Sunderland away. Um, Alderete against Liverpool. Yeah, I don't care about my bench. My midfield, Bruno Fernandes, Enzo, Anderson against Wolves at home, Rogers against Brighton at home, Ekitike and Haaland against Fulham and Sunderland. Now, I just think that this team is really great for Game 26, honestly. And bear in mind that I'm still going to have 3 free transfers. So probably I'm not, if I'm not going to be forced, probably I'm not going to make a transfer in Game Week 26 either. And then I'm going to have 4 free transfers in Gaming 27, and this would be my team. Here probably I'm going to play Van Dijk instead of Alderete, Gabriel, Raya, Rice. Now this is going to be a week where after the double gaming I have no intention of keeping Rice. He's also going to blank in Gaming 31, so yeah, Spurs, Chelsea, Brighton, not amazing fixtures for Arsenal, to be honest with you. My attack would be okay. Thiago, Ekitike, Haaland, the fixtures are getting better for Brentford. So at this point in time, I'm going to have 4 free transfers. And if I want to get rid of Rice, the player I would really like to have in my team probably would be Florian Wirtz or Brian Mbeumo. Now, it's not such a big difference between them. I think that the minutes for Wirtz maybe are a little bit better. I'm a Liverpool fan, so probably I'm just going to pick Wirtz. I think that he's in really good form at the moment. Really happy that he's finally showing up what he can do. So let's just say I want to buy Wirtz, right? In gaming 27, the fixtures are good for Liverpool until gaming 31. That's all I care because I'm going to deaden my team in gaming 31. So I'm just looking until that point, because in gaming 32, I'm going to use my wildcard. So I will need to find 1.2 millions in the bank, and that's not going to be easy. That's not going to be easy. So I'm still not sure if I'm going to buy Florian Wirtz, sorry, in gaming 27 because yeah, I pretty much can do that. And what I'm going to do probably I'm just going to keep Rice for gaming 27, move to gaming 28, and here is where I'm going to have 5 free transfers, probably the first time this season, excluding when FPL gave us 5 free transfers. And here the fixtures for Chelsea are getting terrible. The fixtures for Arsenal are not amazing. So here I could do some moves. I'm going to have 5 free transfer. I'm going to sell Enzo, that's for sure. Let's say I'm going to sell Enzo for Florian Wirtz, and I'm also going to sell Rice because I need to get some money out of somewhere, and this is going to be probably the only way for me to do that. Now, obviously, if some players are going to get injured, probably some things are going to happen, right? And my plans are going to not be those. But again, if everything is going to go according to my plan, I'm going to have 5 free transfers in gaming 28. I know it's boring, but it is what it is. And here I'm going to make some transfers. I think that my team is also looking perfectly fine until gaming 28. So um, let's just say here, as I said before, probably I'm going to sell Lacroix. Let's say that's going to be for Anderson. Let's say I'm also going to sell Dorgu to Matty Cash maybe. As I said before, Villa are playing West Ham in gaming 31. So Anderson with Cash would look really nice. And also I would have 5.3 millions to spend on a midfielder. Now, again, would be amazing to afford Harry Wilson, but sadly, I just don't think that uh, he's more than 6 millions, right? Yeah, he's 6.1. So let's just say 5.3 millions. Again, Dewsbury Hall, probably probably at that price I'm going to go for Dewsbury Hall, or let's say I'm going to go for Douglas Luiz or something like that from Aston Villa. If he's still going to get good minutes, maybe he's also going to be on penalties. Now, if I somehow don't want to go for cash, let me just try something. Let's say I'm going to sell Rice for Wilson, who I don't know how much his price is going to be at that time, and I will need to find a 4 million defender in that case. And let's just say I could go Rodon, right? 3.9, or I could go Hill. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. I have 0.1 millions to do all these moves. Now, that would be Rice to Wilson, Enzo to Florian Wirtz, Dorgu to Rodon, and Lacroix to Anderson. And with 4 free transfers, my team would look, I don't know, I don't want to brag here, but I think that the team would look pretty amazing, excluding Anderson here. Uh, Now I could go for cash here instead of Anderson, I guess, and then my team would look truly amazing. Um, yeah, I guess I can. If I'm going to go for Harry Wilson, I can't do that. So let's just say Anderson. Now, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Raya, Anderson. This would be my team for this gaming. I could play Harry Wilson instead of Anderson. Uh, and yeah, let's just fast forward to gaming 31. I will have just Gabriel and Raya, I think, who are going to blank. And obviously Erling Haaland, who are going to blank in gaming 31. Here I'm going to play Van Dijk probably, maybe even over someone like Rogers. Anyway, the team looks okay. In gaming 30 is still okay. I could play Anderson against Forest or Rodon against Crystal Palace instead of Aldurete probably here. Uh, Wilson, I could play Wilson here, but I'm not sure instead of who, so probably he's going to be on my bench here. And if we move to Gaming 31, this is where I want to have a decent team. So Gabriel, Raya, and Haaland are going to blank. I probably, again, let's see how Man City are going to do against Newcastle. Now, what's nice with having Raya, I'm going to have my second goalkeeper who I don't need to make an additional transfer to have a playing goalkeeper in game 31. Anderson against Burnley, Wilson against Burnley, Rodon, Virgil van Dijk, pretty nice. Florian Wirtz, Ekitike against Brighton, Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, the team would look okay. Rogers against West Ham. So yeah, the team would look okay for Gaming 31. Now I went through with a lot of moves. Sorry about that, but yeah, as I said before. Now the other thing would be, again, if I don't want to go for Harry Wilson, or if I want to, I don't know, instead of Dorgu to go for Matty Cash, that's also a possibility. But I like the Burnley fixture for Wilson. So yeah, then my team would look okay for gaming 28. I'm going to use forfeit transfers out of 5, so I'm still going to have 1. Then we move to gaming 29. I can roll. I will have 2, and I also can roll here. I could play Dewsbury Hall against Burnley, which is nice. So I have 2 here. I will have 3 free transfers in gaming 30. The team would look okay. Now, if I need to make some moves, maybe, I don't know, selling Van Dijk, selling Ekitike, but again, it's Spurs at home. It's not such a bad fixture. And I could have, again, 4 free transfers in gaming 31 in case any of my players are going to get injured, in case, let's see, all the teams are going to blank in 31. But yeah, this is real short my plan for the future. I have already 3 players from Arsenal who are going to double in 26. The state of the game at the moment is pretty broken because, yeah, everybody has 2 or 3 players from Arsenal. Everybody has Haaland. Everybody's going to go for Bruno Fernandes. But again, this is the game we're playing at the moment. You just need to try to, I don't know, differentiate yourself with some little tweaks there. Maybe a Brian Mbeumo, maybe a Florian Wirtz. Uh, Even someone like Ekitike at the moment is looking like a differential. So that's all you can do at the moment. Having Gabriel, Timber, Rice, Raya, these players, I think that it is kind of essential for Gaming 26, right? Especially when a team like Arsenal are going to double. But after that, yeah, we're going to find also a lot of information until Gaming 31, which teams are likely to double in Gaming 33, maybe 35, maybe 36, and other blanks. So having some free transfers, I think that is going to be really helpful. And I just think that my team is uh, is okay. Now, besides Gaming 25, I don't have a lot of expectations for Gaming 25. Again, I could just sell Virgil van Dijk to Anderson maybe and move that transfer forward because I don't have any money tied up in Virgil van Dijk. But is that such a huge upgrade going for Joachim Anderson? I guess it's a huge upgrade, right, for this gaming especially. But then yeah, I just need to see how the team would look with Anderson. But I'm going to do that private. So thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully the video wasn't too long. Again, I know that I didn't upload a lot of videos this week. Actually, this is probably going to be the only one. But maybe I'm going to have a stream tomorrow. So if you want, just be there and have some questions, maybe talk a little bit more about double gamings and other information. But if not, you're going to see me. Just remind yourself that Friday is the deadline for Gaming 25, so just don't forget to set up your team for that, and I'm going to see you on stream. So yeah, the plan for me at the moment is probably to roll, uh, try to fix my defense to be okay for Gaming 31 and all the games before that. Maybe buy some players like Florian Wirtz, Brian Mbeumo. At the moment, these are the midfielders which I'm interested in because I have Bruno Fernandes, Rice, Enzo, Rogers. I just like them. For the next 2, I'm just not going to swap these 4 players. Unjay from Everton is nice. Douglas Luiz could be nice. Dewsbury Hall, if I'm going to need the cash, is going to be nice. But those are all my problems at the moment. To fix up my defense for Gaming 31 and before, to add maybe someone like Florian Wirtz as fast as possible. Sadly for me, I just can't do it. I just can't do it this week. I can't do it next week because I don't want to sell Rice, I don't want to sell any of my midfielders, and I don't want to sell Ekitike also, who's going to play against Sunderland. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching this video this long, really appreciate it. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, check the memberships also if you want to support the channel even more, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.